Lucelyn covered her mouth upon witnessing the first sight that met their eyes. It was dark and stained, particularly with spiderwebs and bat droppings. This was the main room. The floor was dirty and neglected, with chairs and sofas left uncovered, making them look extremely dusty and stained, much like the shattered glass coffee table, and the sofas had holes, no longer retaining their original form. On the walls, there were some paintings and photographs of men and women, even some family photos from a bygone era. The poor quality of the pictures and the clothing worn by the people in them was evident. The architecture and decoration of this building were truly ancient, further adding to the creepiness of the house. Many of the hanging lights appeared to be broken, and it seemed they had become resting places for bats. Not far away were several doors leading to other rooms, and there was a wide staircase leading to the second floor. What? Are we not going to get a happy birthday greeting? Why is your reaction like that? Kyrie asked when she noticed Lucelyn's reaction. The young girl shook her head while pinching her nose. The smell and the filth. Come on, it's just a bit of flying animal waste. Let's get this done. The sooner, the better. I want to go home. Kyrie promptly dragged Lucelyn's hand and started walking into the house. They held their handycams, illuminating the dark room. Lucelyn reluctantly followed, her steps compelled. Whether she liked it or not, she wouldn't want to face rejection from her older sister, otherwise, she might end up being dragged along. The view inside the house wasn't much different from other neglected old houses. It resembled the typical setting for a horror movie. The two girls shivered and hissed at the aura of the house but continued walking. Lucelyn began to use her handycam to scan the area, and they were still holding hands. A few steps after entering through the doorway, they suddenly heard a loud noise from behind, a sound that startled both of them. Kyrie and Lucelyn reflexively turned around, their eyes wide in alarm, and they discovered that the noise came from the door, which had suddenly closed loudly. They responded to the activity without screaming. Since they turned around in different directions, their hands, which had been clasped together, automatically separated. Do you think that was because of the wind? Kyrie asked, looking at Lucelyn, who appeared somewhat frightened. Lucelyn quickly shook her head in response. Can the wind close a door like that? Besides, we didn't feel any wind from the beginning. Lucelyn replied, directing the flashlight from the handycam towards the closed door. Kyrie nodded in agreement because that's indeed what happened. Okay, it happens sometimes. Let's just continue with the filming. She decided not to dwell on the incident. They had not yet captured the ghostly sighting they were hoping for. What if we can't get out? Lucelyn asked, and they exchanged glances. Don't you see that the windows over there are wide open? Kyrie pointed with her thumb behind her. We'll jump out the window if necessary. Come on, let's keep going. Kyrie then lowered her hand and walked ahead of Lucelyn. That would look like we're thieves. Lucelyn grumbled softly, unaware that their actions of entering a stranger's house without permission were already akin to theft. Lucelyn turned and followed, taking short steps but moving relatively quickly. They continued walking through the main room. Kyrie used her handycam to scan the surroundings, but there was still nothing unusual captured by the device. Do we need to talk a lot, like vloggers? Is that what viewers want? Lucelyn asked. Yes. Viewers like that. Okay, let's start then. Lucelyn raised her handycam. Good evening, loyal viewers of our channel. As you've requested, we've entered this famous house of Scream. We'll thoroughly explore it and prove whether this screaming house is truly haunted or not. Kyrie began her opening statement quite well. Stay on our channel. Lucelyn added. Okay, let's start the exploration. This is an empty house rumored to have an occupant, but so far, we haven't seen anything. Although still, a house like this gives us the creeps. Kyrie spoke as she moved the handycam to capture every corner of the room. Look, we're now in the middle of the house. The house is filthy, the ghost here is dirty. Lucelyn suddenly blurted out with a disgusted shudder. Kyrie immediately turned to her due to the nature of that statement. Don't speak carelessly. You might bring bad luck. She admonished Lucelyn for her words. I don't like it here, it's so stuffy. Lucelyn completely ignored Kyrie's words. Do you think I like being here? I'm tired too. Remember, for the content, we have to finish this. I understand, sis. Good. So, should we split up or stay together? Lucelyn asked, taking a few steps closer until she stood slightly to Kyrie's right with a small gap between them. Kyrie immediately shook her head. I don't want to split up in a creepy house like this. Okay, I don't want to split up either. So where do we want to go first? Lucelyn asked, leaving the exploration path entirely up to the older woman. The kitchen? Or bathroom? It seems like all places are equally convincing for ghostly appearances. Kyrie mentioned their first option for exploration, despite her fear. Thus far, they hadn't encountered any sightings or activity more extreme than the door closing by itself, so they summoned the courage to continue. Let's start with the kitchen. Lucelyn quickly decided. Okay, to the kitchen we go. Hold my hand again. Lucelyn extended her right hand toward Kyrie, smiling. Here. Kyrie immediately grasped the hand of the petite girl. All right, everyone, we're heading to the kitchen. Let's see if we'll capture any ghostly sightings there. Kyrie said while aiming the handycam towards the kitchen. Kyrie resumed speaking as she pointed the camera. So far, we haven't found anything. Still, a house like this gives us the creeps. As they walked toward the kitchen, unbeknownst to them, on the staircase leading to the second floor, there appeared a headless man, standing still. Even though the room was dark, the moonlight filtering through the window created the silhouette of this figure.